Hello, welcome. The National Honor Society would like to thank Edwina Brewer and the food service staff and Ed Blackburn and the custodial staff, as well as Sydney Whitman, without whom this evening would not have been possible. Before we continue with this program, I would ask that you turn off all cell phones. Other than perhaps graduation, this evening's ceremony is perhaps the most important gathering of the school year. Because the National Honor Society is one of the oldest and most prestigious organizations for high school in this country. Marion Hardin's chapter of the National Honor Society was established in 1925, joining chapters throughout the country that since 1921 have inducted over 7 million student members. In order to be eligible for membership, students must meet the scholarship requirement established by the National Honor Society and its national constitution by having at least a 4.5 cumulative GPA. Candidates are then evaluated on the basis of service, leadership, character. These characteristics are described in your program. The purpose of this society is to honor scholars who are leaders of good character and who serve by using their talents to benefit others. Mr. Schmidt will present the symbols of the National Honor Society. Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you, Gage. The emblem which is on your program is highlighted by the keystone and the flaming torch. The torch, from earliest times, has been the emblem of wisdom or the eternal light of knowledge. The lighting of this torch symbolizes the lighting of your torch as you accept the responsibility of going on to future accomplishments with the accompanying obligations and responsibilities. At the base of the keystone are the letters C, S, L, and S to represent the virtues of character, scholarship, leadership, and service, which are symbolized by the 4 unlighted candles. Now, in modern times, the society looks upon education as a total product measured by the 4 dimensions of life. 4 of our National Honor Society members, Carrington, Micaiah, Rhiannon, and Brooklyn, will review these 4 qualities of membership. Micaiah.
When I think about the character of a good student, many qualities come to mind. Honesty, compassion, integrity, and most importantly, commitment. And tonight you guys are making a commitment to leading an outstanding life, to caring for others, to assisting peers, and to being great. And I would like to take the time to honor those of you here for doing what's right, even when others don't, for caring for people who can't care for themselves, and for being a leader. You have shown to possess the character of a good person, and now is the time for recognition of all your hard work, in and out of the classroom. Parents, I hope you are sitting in the audience tonight extremely proud of your child, because even through the hard tests, peer pressure, all-nighters, and extremely busy schedules, your student has managed to be the best version of themselves and improve if necessary. And that to me is the most important part of good character, working hard daily, but always striving to be better than before. Congratulations, inductees.
Thank you, Micaiah. Brooklyn?
First, I would like to congratulate everyone being inducted into National Honor Society this year. This is a big accomplishment that is not to be taken lightly. For the past 2 years at least, you have done your very best to achieve a high academic status. From the sleepless nights spent studying, to the stress-filled days worrying about a test you have the next period, to actively participating in class, you've all persevered and illustrated the characteristics of a scholar. Aside from your academics, you all have also managed to get involved in a variety of activities. This is also a feat that should not be taken lightly. In my 4 years at Harding, I have seen how demanding extracurriculars can be, whether it be the tennis team, musical, comedy club, or any of the number other clubs and organizations offered. They all require a certain amount of energy and dedication that, when added on top of your schoolwork, can be exhausting, but it can also be extremely rewarding if you find your niche. Since you are all sitting here today, I guess it's safe to say you have found yours. Don't get me wrong, I know that there may have been times when instead of spending an extra 10 minutes studying or thinking about your upcoming project, you may have listened to music or hung out with friends. And you know what? That's okay. High school is not only about getting the grades to help you succeed later in life, it is also about creating friendships and finding yourself. During your freshman and sophomore years, you establish a reputation, not just socially, but especially academically. You may have made sacrifices, but hopefully you also received rewards. Once again, I'd like to congratulate you all and wish you luck as you embark on this new journey.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Brianna?
Leadership is a quality so many people strive for in their lives, with camps dedicated to building it and encouragement being thrown at you in every moment of your day. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either. I'm always for building people up to the best version of themselves they can be. But throughout my 18 years of life, I've never been able to see myself as a leader. It's been a constant struggle of personal insecurity and confusion of certain ideals. And you never really feel like you will ever be able to be the one to lead the parade and teach people to march forward. Yet, as life has continued on, I've come to realize leadership isn't always the thing you can, leadership isn't always the things you can grow up thinking they are. It's not always being the one who goes out to build up the third world countries or the one who is at the forefront of the protest. What matters is you and your passion. It's the thing that drives you to say your opinion, to stand up for what you believe in, and to help those who need it. Being a leader is believing in yourself and believing that you can make a difference and do something important, even if sometimes the most important thing for you that day is simply getting out of bed. So I challenge you, young scholars, to go out into the world and find your passion. Find that place you love to volunteer at. Find that person you feel needs your help the most, and find that community you feel at home in. Because these are the things that will lead you to lead. Without your passions, you'll have trouble finding out where you feel you can change something. This is your starting point, but take your grades, your intelligence, and your incredible mind and go out and seek your own form of leadership. Congratulations.
Thank you, Brianna. Carrington?
As I prepared to write this speech, I searched for a quote that would capture the importance of service. Many of the ones I found were nice, but they didn't quite illustrate the depth of this concept and how service fulfills us as people. One that did stand out read, "Only a life lived in the service of others is a life worth living." These words were short and simplistic, yet they perfectly explain why service is such an essential part of our lives. From a young age, my parents taught me about service and even showed me how we can serve through many different capacities. Although I was around parents who served others frequently, I never really grasped the concept until I began serving. I have served within the community through clubs such as Junior Civitan and Youth Engaged in Philanthropy, along with service throughout my church and projects that were important to my family. There's a feeling you get from service that is uncomparable. Another great thing about service is that you never have to look far to find where it is needed. There are many organizations and people right here in our community that can always use help. Within our school alone, we have Key Club, Junior Civitan, and of course, National Honor Society that are always looking to make a difference within not only our school, but also our community. To the new members of National Honor Society, I will leave you with this quote: "Service to others leads to greatness." I know all of you sitting here are striving to be great in the classroom, on the field, at your jobs, and in the community, but make sure to take the time and help others. I also challenge you to find something that's important to you and go seek it out. Find how you can incorporate your passions with one of the main pillars of National Honor Society. Lastly, take this new membership as an opportunity to develop a heart for service, and you will make a difference in someone's life.
Thank you, Carrington. Now that the candidates understand these symbols, Ms. Musbach, will you administer the pledge?
Thank you, Gage, and thank you, speakers. An excellent job this evening. Before we begin our pledge for our new inductees, being that it is the observance of Veterans Day today, if we have any veterans in the audience, would you please stand so we can recognize your service? We thank you for your service, and we thank you for the role models that you are for these students in front of us. Will the inductees please stand? Inductees, please raise your right hand. Do you promise to continue to try to excel in character, scholarship, leadership, and service as you have thus far in high school? If so, answer, I do. In your program is the National Honor Society Pledge. That's the red paper in front of you. Please read this with me. I pledge to maintain high scholastic standing, to endeavor intelligently and courageously to be a leader, to give of myself freely in service to others, and to hold as fundamental and worthy an untarnished character. In doing so, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. Those who have now pledged themselves to uphold the purpose of this society and in its high ideals of character, scholarship, leadership, and service are accepted as members of the National Honor Society. Congratulations, new members, on behalf of the Harding High School staff, your teachers, your principals, the Board of Education, and the new superintendent, Dr. Irusi. We want to congratulate you on your accomplishments, and we want you to remember the pledge that you have just sworn to. Please give a round of applause for these new inductees. Inductees, please be seated.
I fixed it. Each inductee will now receive his or her certificate and sign the Marion Harding National Honor Society Register. The new members will be introduced by Mrs. Musbach. Certificates will be presented by Mrs. Pace and Mr. Panamarzik, and Mr. Schneider will preside over the registration book.
As each name is announced this evening, we will ask that the parents and families and guests of each student, as their name is called, please rise and remain standing until your child receives their certificate and is standing on stage. The names will be called in alphabetical order. Nicholas Caserta. Peyton Cressup. Isabella Frazier. Olivia Haupt. Lily Jansen. Taylor Kieran. Madison Maynard. Hannah McClary. Abigail McClure. Madison McInnes. Alicia Miller. Madeline Moats. Andrew Newsom. Parker Richards. Gage Ross. Daniel Stimson. Clay Thomas. Alexis Toombs. Mr. Schneider will now light the first candle from the lamp of knowledge in front of us. This light will be passed to all students as a symbol of the receiving of the light of knowledge. Each of these scholars behind me has received a lighted candle, a symbol of the flaming torch of freedom and knowledge. Students, the world today, as never before, needs faithful and efficient leaders, and your school is looking to you to lead its students. May your light of leadership guide you now and in the years ahead.
I again wish to congratulate our National Honor Society inductees, and I especially want to thank all the families present tonight for helping celebrate this tremendous achievement. Students, please stay a few moments for a group photo. Thank you for coming. Have a safe trip home.